Welcome. We are having that continued discussion after the International Forum, Global Crisis, There is a Way Out. And we are here with some wonderful, esteemed guests today to be able to have a discussion about equality, about self-governance, and the coordination centers. First, starting with King Frederick Lee McHenry Sr., Grand Master of the World Masonic United Nations Most Puissant Sovereign Grand Commander, 33 degree 99th, along with his beautiful Queen Consuela, Grand Master for the Phoenix Grand Lodge of Georgia. Also representing the people of Ilocos, Shakoiatentha, and Salt. Also representing the Creative Society US of A, Marina, Ovtsynova, along with myself, Julia Dudley Najieb, and my life partner, Lennice, Jabari, Najieb, Muhammad. And equality will be the first start that we will have a discussion about. But first, we'll get to the video.
Thank you so much, Julia. Welcome, dear friends. It's a big honor to have you with us today. And I would like to invite you and our respected viewers to watch a short excerpt from the forum, Global Crisis, There is a Way Out. Let's watch it.
The consumer society will take our lives one by one and leave only a lifeless desert where there will be no place for us or our children. In the consumer format, none of us have a future. If we do not change anything, the seventh generation will not come into existence. Are we going to put our heads down and accept it? Will we not fight for ourselves and those who are dear to us? The consumer society has taken enough lives, and we have endured it.
No label, no slogan, no party, no skin color, and no religion is more important than the human being. Aren't you tired of being victimized, tired of marching with no results? We are taking the first steps and getting started with the coordination centers because we are going to help end racism and discrimination, and we can do this through the Creative Society.
We are left with one step. We need to decide right now where we will take that step. Either pushed by the consumer format, we, the entire human race, will step into that direction, which will end human existence, or we'll join hands and build a beautiful, reliable, solid bridge for all of humanity on the world's strongest foundation, the 8 pillars of the Creative Society.
We, the Ilocos, have lived by the teachings of our ancestors and preserved the foundations of unity since time immemorial. We knew that a time would come when we would need to act. Lives of all of us are in our hands, and we must unite our minds and our hearts in order to deter extinction.
The Creative Society is our chance, a chance to build a better future for everyone on Earth. Without a doubt, the Creative Society embodies all the dreams and aspirations of every human being. This is what we as Masons have been striving for all our lives.
The Creative Society is about truth, justice, and righteousness for all people, of all backgrounds, of all skin tones, united under one race, the human race. So equality is such a broad topic and a big topic, and I want to start off with King McHenry and Queen Consuela. Really break down what equality means to you and how we can expand it to a broader vision looking at the human race.
Well, equality to me means that every person, every race, have the opportunity from an economic standpoint, from a social standpoint, to continue to live a equal life among one another. When you take and look at that, unconditional love plays a major role in that. Mm-hmm. And in order to be able to bring that forward, you have to be able to understand each and every one of our positions. We're all microorganisms on Earth, and we are all operating technically together. but we have to be able to take that unconditional love and change the way we see things in the perspectives. We're all tulips in a garden. And if you look at it, gardener is going to only go water just the tulips. It doesn't make a difference if it's the green tulips or the white or the red.
That's a good point.
You know, we have to develop that type of unconditional behavior, and equality plays that part. You know, as the Masonic United Nations was once a part of a dream or ideology that I brought forth. It was to bring forth to the United Nations the front of being able to know that racism supersedes racism and lines and jurisdictional territories, and then it becomes a whole for all to exist so that we can have our human rights.
That definitely makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Consuela.
And to piggyback off of the king, I concur with pretty much everything that he says. We share the same thoughts and perspectives on equality. I would say equality for me looks like also equal housing, equal education. You know, in previous years, we were conditioned to think only one way.
Yes.
Now we have access to so much. Now you have that third eye awakening.
Yes, that's right.
So we know that we're all equal. We know this. So in order for us to continue in society and continue to be able to live on this planet Earth, we have to be sustainable. We have to just come together. It's simple. It's not rocket science. It's just a matter of coming together, respecting one another, and actually having human rights. It's not so much about and grateful for the civil rights, you know, but it's human. It's the human right. And that human right will involve all of us being equal and giving each other equal opportunities, equal social opportunities. And that's what it looks like for me. It's plain, it's simple, it's just common sense.
It should be plain and simple, but somehow it's not as simple when we go to different countries, when we look at
Right.
here in the United States. We would want it to be more simplified. When we are looking at our guests also who are SALT and also Shakoiatentha, I wanted to make sure that they are inclusive in this discussion about equality and how that looks like to you as well.
The UN also replicates from the US Constitution. So they have a little backwards. One, like the pyramid, is one man at the top, but we have it as the people at the top. So that's one thing we need to be tweaked about the government. Okay.
My perspective. No, I agree with everything that he says. You know, I want more input on what you guys have to ask.
And one thing, Iroquois do not have rights. Slaves have rights and privileges. We have responsibilities, freedoms, and liberties to carry on life the way everybody does.
Lennice, why do you think this has been a difficult concept for us to grasp here in the United States when we're looking at equality and human rights, when it should be so simple, as Queen Consuela and everyone else has said?
Well, when you're looking at human rights, I'm also going to go more into not just civil rights, but silver rights, you know, dealing with the access to capital, access to
Absolutely.
The financial piece to it.
Yes.
It's been many times, and you share with me, we have our own business dealing with black media, and we be in presentations where we have the dynamite presentations, and the people we present it to just get up and walk out the room. It's sad to see that type of environment, that type of treatment, because in all black media throughout the nation, we just found out more or less in California, but throughout the nation, the United States of America, we are not getting access to do our business properly. And that's a fact. As we complain over and over and over again, they play all kind of tricks. They do lies, and it's so far deep into the government of it, all the way deep into the government, from the mayor to the congressman to throughout the government, all the way to the governor, even beyond that. So you see, there's not corporations that can build capacity for our businesses. And here we are thinking, okay, how are we going to pay for our staff? How are we going to pay our rent? How are we going to pay this and that and the other, when those access to capital should be readily available? They should be coming to us with the money so we can share truthful content, truthful information to our audience that desperately need it.
Agreed. You know, and if I could just chime in, I thought about a lot of things from what our brother said here from the Ukways, and also what you said. I'm a realtor by trade, right? And I think about these things come into play just as you said. If you think about it, if everyone had the same access to capital, we wouldn't have any reason to bump heads. We wouldn't have any reason to be upset with each other. Respectfully, if you believe this, the Most High created us all. He created man, he created woman to procreate. He created us equal, and he gave us freedom at that time. So why is our freedom being taken away? We can govern ourselves. But if you're going to give reparations to one group, you need to give it to all. Everyone needs to have that same capital, because we all have creative minds. We all have innovative ideas. Why should one person be able to walk into a bank to get money and one group not be able to have that same access? We're all human. We all bleed the same blood, the same color at the end of the day.
That's right.
So we are all created equal. And if we could get that within our concept, within our way of thinking, I believe that we could continue. Well, I will say we would be on the right path, on a better direction within the creative society. And I know that's a cohesive effort that we all, you know, we're all different colors, we're all different tones, but at the end of the day, we're all still human.
Absolutely.
And I believe if we all come together, then that would allow us to have a better opportunity.
You are absolutely right. And when we look at the creative society, that's why it's like an even playing field, but everyone's provided all the absolute necessities that they would absolutely need.
Right.
So there is no reason to have division or fight or have an angst against anyone, Marina. When I look at this concept of the creative society, it is real. It is happening now. All we have to do is be involved and be a part of the process.
Yes, and I really like Saul said we need to recognize our responsibility. So freedom starts with responsibility. We cannot have a freedom without doing something for that and acting. Otherwise, it's like we shift the responsibility to somebody else's shoulder, and we're hoping so by the end of the day, this person will come and fix our mistakes. But we know exactly how it works. If somebody gets to the power in a couple of days, yes, in the beginning, he or she has a really good intention to help people, to fix the situation. But power is very, very, very difficult concept. And as soon as you start to experience that, very, very, very fast, you will forget about the people around you. You lose empathy, and you only strive to get even more power in order to secure your place. And here the concept of self-governance comes first. That's why we are represented in a creative society. And I know, like dear friends Elakwa said, that it's natural, and their ancestor already govern in this way. So people have a responsibility, and people were able to express their will and guide the society to the goal that we all people want to. And that's why we're spending so much time during the forum Global Crisis There Is a Way Out to really explain people in even very small details that people rise up, that everything your future depends on your choice right now. You need to be active. You need to start to share information about creative society, about its benefit. And that's why we're continuing our discussion and invite all people who watch that forum to express their opinion on that topic. And right now, let's talk about self-governance, how it will change our system, how it will change our society, and what is the first step to it. So maybe Lennice?
How we can change that self-governance? Well, one, we all have to be united. We all have to be on one accord.
Yeah.
We all have to be supporting each other, helping each other. We are in troubled times right now. We're looking at the climate change. We're looking at economic catastrophes throughout the world. And we have to come together as a united force, because we have entities, or some would call enemies out there, that don't want to see us come together. And we have to work with the creative society, work with each other. It's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's not a Hispanic or an Indian thing, it's a human rights, it's a human thing. To make it a better place, to make it a better existence. I am sick and tired of racism, discrimination. I am sick and tired of being not able to have access to capital, not able to have access to corporate dollars and the games that corporation plays, and hiring African Americans to play those games to block us from those corporate dollars that we need to hire our people, or more people, for better jobs, better careers, etc. and so forth. We cannot create anything unless we also have what we call civil rights. Civil rights, not just civil, but civil rights.
You know, if I can interject, I was talking to some dear friends last night, and I learned a lot about the different cultures, and I learned a lot about the fact that as an African American, I am not alone in this struggle for equality. And when I heard the things that they've gone through in their countries, I was taken back. And we talked at least for an hour and a half, and I know we were getting ready for today's program, but I was so intrigued and disappointed to know that that's what they were going through. And I'm thinking, we're not the only ones going through this.
Right.
There are other people who do not look like me going through extreme poverty and just the corporate takeover in their countries, or the government takeover. It is appalling. It is shocking. I wanted to hold back tears because I wanted to do something right there and then. And it didn't matter whether they didn't look like me or not. It was the fact that their rights have been taken from them, and that their rights have been squeezed out of them, and that they couldn't speak when they wanted to. They can't even take a shower at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night because a neighbor might complain and call the police on them. There's things that I was shocked to know this is happening, everyone, in other countries. And people have a right to be themselves, to be human, and to be respected as that. And that is what I learned being able to talk to my dear, wonderful friends, my new friends here in the Creative Society, and knowing that here in the United States, we are not alone as African Americans as far as what we go through here in this country.
Not at all.
Because we have like one enemy actually. It's not people, and it's not country, it's not corporation, it's the format. It's a consumer format that divides, separates us, and forces us to fight with each other. And definitely, without fixing this problem, we will not be able to fix all other problems. That's why we need to really unite all our efforts and build a creative society.
You know, I've always said that we're stronger together than we are apart. A very famous artist, one of my favorite, Tupac Shakur, said,
Yes.
we have money for wars, but we can't feed the poor. Why is that? It's control. It's not the Most High. It's the control that man created. Man created all of this. So if we didn't have that, we'd all have those equal opportunities. We all have the access to the capital that we need, to the housing that we need, to the education.
Absolutely.
And again, we're just stronger together than we are apart. Dividing us is not the key. Coming together united is the key for us to keep, like you said, look at all these catastrophes, all this global warming, all of this that's going on. I'm sure the Most High is looking like, I gave you all freedom. I gave you all freedom. I gave this to you. But man decided to come in, control, and take and take and take. It's not about taking, it's about coming together, it's about giving, it's about, you know, they didn't come over here and discover the world. Our brothers were already here. Our ancestors were already here. There's, oh man, I could go on and on, but you know, it's really just about us coming together. And you're right, we're not the only ones. They have other countries that have free education, free insurance, but for some reason here, everything just has to be controlled. And like you said, it's power. You know, and the Bible also says, to whom much is given, much is required. But sometimes when you get the power, like you said, you just want more and more and more. But what if we all had that power? What if we all had those same opportunities? And that's what equal rights looks like to me.
Well, I feel overall that you have to find the solution. And the solution of bringing people together, bringing humanity together. One thing that all of us have in common, and that's love.
Yes.
So we love somebody.
Yes.
And you know, you have, let's just go take it to the streets. The gangster loves someone.
That's right.
A police officer loves someone.
Absolutely.
A politician loves someone. That's the commonality of what we should be focusing on in order to bring unconditional love. Because if you know love, then you know the Creator. And the Creative Society has put that in a perspective to be able to take that mindset and behaviors. And with that mindset and behavior, we need to be able to bring this power to all people, from the Ku Klux Klan to the Aryan Brotherhood to all walks of life, so that we can actually know that if we don't come together, we will implode. So our job is to be able to bring God's plan in place. Now, the acronym, what I've given as God's plan, is giving out, you know, divine solutions. And then when you do that, you're promoting love above negativity.
That's right.
That's plan, God's plan.
That's right.
And so we see that from that perspective, and we know that we're just the tulips in the garden, then we should let the gardener keep flourishing us, and we should be able to know that don't be bamboozled by the look or the color of your skin. We're genetically kin to each other, period. And so by the mitochondriac DNA of Eve, and that's a code. And when you start that, all men are related to each other as far as the Y chromosome. But we have to realize the importance of what we are doing. And that's what we have to bring, the solution. And the Creative Society has brought forth a solution, because it took a system to get us into this, and it will take a system to get us out of this situation.
Correct.
That's where I believe.
Yeah. And I know it's, I would say it's challenging. I understand that it's challenging for a lot of us. A lot of us, you know, different cultures, different religions, different races have gone through a lot. I would even speak to my brother Salt. It's difficult for us. We had a lot of our ethnicities, our races, our groups have had so many things taken away from us. But we just have to make that choice. Do we, like you said, mentioned before, do we want to live in that, or come together and work on bringing it all back together?
Yes, dear friends, I absolutely agree with you. And right now I would like to pass the word to our friends in Zoom. Salt, Jeremy, we would like to hear your opinion on that topic. What do you think about equal rights, about self-governance?
Well, it all starts off with banking. We have to control our own banking. And then we can get, and then we have to all go with one issue at a time. We want to make our own bank, our own central bank. If we can't rely on their banks. So we also, you guys, Americans are tax exempt. Americans are tax exempt, but not U.S. citizens. American citizens are tax exempt, so we're offering you American citizenship. There's no such thing as an American citizenship, only U.S. citizenship. Here is the law of this land. It's called the ever-growing tree wampum belt. Any man that wish to live in peace are welcome to take shelter underneath a tree of long branches. Want to live in peace? You are welcome to. Let us know nowadays, modernly by citizen papers. We'll start issuing out citizen papers.
We also have the allodial title. So this is something that I'd like to eventually share out there. So this was filed in was the
ICJ.
The ICJ already in 2000 and I think it was 17. So anything that is filed legally, if no one contested in, I think it's 30 to 45 days, it's considered silence is acquiescence to agreement. So the paper, as long as you have paperwork, we already have it, the allodial title. We just want to start utilizing it and getting it out there so that we can start this banking system and, you know, help the people and not have to worry about collecting funds or working for another organization because we have de jure jurisdiction over the lands. We should already be managing it. So that's something I'm looking forward to doing, is creating this awareness on this map and paperwork. If they want to go legalities, because a lot of people are worried about legalities, we already have all the legalities. We have the de jure legalities. But this is the first time that we're getting out there. For a while, our people have always been oppressed and put into situations where we had to incorporate under other government entities. We never got to operate as our own. We're always put into their back. Even in the United Nations, that the indigenous people are put in a whole different category in the United Nations. They're not put at the big table with the countries. You know, they have a backroom that they're put into. So we want to be there at the table, and we need to be there at the table because we are the landowners, our women, our people, our kids. They own the land. And that's something that we have to get back. While it didn't go anywhere, it's still there, but it's a matter of getting into the paper war, you know, getting into it and winning it because we have de jure jurisdiction over it. You know, we're tired of fighting, physically fighting. Now we're ready to get into the paper war.
It's like we're fighting for something that belongs to us already. I would like to learn more about that. It's something that we call insurance. I also work as an insurance agent, independent insurance agent, and I believe it's something the King and I were discussing. Is it similar to like infinite banking concepts? Like being your own bank?
Yeah.
As we talked about governing your own self?
Mm-hmm. There's a such thing as Shanghai Banking Organization, and we can ask them for honor our paperwork, honor our financial instruments, and being proactive, not being somebody with rights. You're always worried about rights. Slaves have rights and privileges. We have freedoms and responsibilities to manage this land, and the whole world is waiting for us. We have to wake up and start managing this land. That's all. We be managers.
You manage the land that is actually leveraged so that you can actually create the financial resources that are actually available for you. I am part of the Southern Cherokee Nation of the Red Fire people. I am aware of what, I'm not a treaty native, but I am part of the native tribe. I'm the emissary, and I know that you're leveraging what you have already has as original heritage land. So all you have to do is use that as your instrument to apply that to be able to go into your own economic structure, and that would be the only way we can do that. And I'm very familiar with this as well, so we can move forward when the time comes because I have resources and contacts through Africa all the way to the Cherokees and to the lower creeks, so we're all together.
Chief Uzi, I know him.
Yeah, Chief Uste.
Yeah, I'm the finance minister of the Southern Cherokee Nation and the Red Fire people.
Yes, I am familiar. So we're together. OCO.
See, this is how we're coming
OCO.
together. Create a society together.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Interesting concept that we're talking today. So each of us brought something that this person would like to change something that we already cannot tolerate. We understand the necessity of the change. We understand that right now in the moment we have all the resources. And Creative Society gives the platform for all people to unite and finally change our society for the better for everyone. And when we touched that topic about creating the bank system, our own bank system, the desire to have our own bank system is just to have it in order to make it transparent, to make it fair to everybody, to be able to see how we will distribute the funds, where they go, and be able to really redirect it to that project, to this or that particular ideas that we people of that area would like to have it. And that's why it's so important to really share the information about the Creative Society, because Creative Society provides all of that. And when Jeremy showed us the ever-growing tree, that's not a just decoration. If you look at it right now, Jeremy, do you mind to show it to us one more time? And count there are 8 of them as the 8 foundation of the Creative Society.
The 8 pillars.
The 8 pillars, the 8 foundations, yes. Something that will secure the prosperity and freedom for every single person on earth, not only in one particular country, but around the globe. That's why Creative Society is for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud to be an ambassador with you all. I'm proud to be on this forum with everyone collectively, and we all have a cohesive effort for one common goal.
Thank you so much. Actually, Councillor, what do you think about the forum? Share with us your feedback, your impression. What impressed you the most?
Oh, of course, my king. Honestly, what impressed me the most is that we all had a cohesive effort. We all shared the same thought that we want the same end goal. We want peace. We want equality. We want to all be treated like humans. We want the access to the same thing everyone else does. And I believe that's what touched me the most, to see all these different countries, all the different people coming together. What was his name? John Lennon. Imagine all the people
Yes.
living just as one.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought about when I watched it. I thought about us all living as one and creating harmony. I will stand by it, stronger together than we are apart.
Such a
I
beautiful
appreciate
example.
the reason why myself and my husband got involved right away with the coordination centers is because we see how important it is to inform people about what's going on from our perspective and be able to share that with people that look like me. It was Roy Starr that we first saw in the Creative Society that hemmed us in, and we hemmed and hawed and woo and ah, what's he doing? Wow, look at the music. Wow, he's such a wonderful artist. And then it was Scientist John telling his story. And all of the uniqueness and flavor of that, we were in. And that's why we will continue to inform people and continue to be a part of the coordination centers to let people know how important the Creative Society is so that we can be the one race, the human race. Like you said, when you peel back that skin, what's there?
The same blood.
The same stuff.
Yeah.
The same tendons, blood, and bone. That's all.
Absolutely.
So that's very important and dear to me. And I saw the whole plan, the whole layout. And I am a research journalist by trade, so I know all the stuff that I saw, and being able to then do my back end research, it's solid. The plan is solid. All we have to do is step in and do it.
Implement it.
That's simple.
That's it.
Yes, with me, I was the one that pushed Julia, my lovely soulmate, into the Creative Society in a rush. She introduced me to it. And, you know, I'm always optimistic. I'm always looking for any angle. It's just my background, where I came from. And what I saw was, what other option do we have?
Right.
Really. What options do we have, not just as Black Americans, not just as Americans, but as human beings? What option do we have? We have something that is going to pretty much destroy the whole planet. And we all have to come together, all the scientists and everything. We have, what, about a 5-year timeline to make a difference?
Or less.
And we're looking at 2 years of getting people involved and numbers involved, and then they have to implement the technology after that point. We have no choice. This is no option. We have to all come together, and right now we have a model to come together with, the Creative Society. So that was my main interest, and also talking to the scientists behind doors in close proximity, like Scientist John, as I met him and took pictures, and really really see the emotion behind it and know that yes, it's real, and yes, this is for real. Thanks.
Absolutely. And before we will ask your feedback, and Frederick, I would like to ask opinion of Jeremy. Jeremy, I know you sent your feedback about the forum, and I greatly appreciate your kind words, but do you mind to share them with our viewers right now? So why do you think this forum was important, and what kind of information impressed you the most? And what do you think will be the next step?
So all the information on the forum was very educational. You know, it was something I really looked into. It's something that I was raised into, actually. My father, he was actually put into this foster care system. So he was a part of the 60s group where they started taking Indians and putting them into colonized homes, more or less. You know, because there was a whole system that was trying to erase the knowledge that we carried. So a lot of the technology that is being brought and that you guys have, and then some of the research that I found is some of it's our technology we had back in the day. You know, to be able to create things, to be able to know that the sound of frequency, you know, our people are of that. You know, the first sound you ever hear when you're born is your mother's heartbeat in the womb. That boom, 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 boom. That's a frequency. You know, and then over time, we started to develop different things like instruments that created frequencies. And we were able to manipulate matter. There's all kinds of different stories and different teachings that were passed down. So I'm glad to actually be a part of what's going on when it comes to the technology, because I feel like it's coming back. When it starts coming back to us, you know, there's going to be people that are, once you give the tool back to them, it's in their code, it's in their genetics that they're going to be able to use this tool to bring it to help everybody. You know, like that's why I'm so excited, because I know once the tools are handed to me, I know how to utilize them, because I was raised into it. You know, I wasn't supposed to have this knowledge of what I have, but because my dad was a part of the system, that he went out and gathered as much information as he can. He was very brilliant. He was very, very athletic. He was always at the top of his game. But when he came back to the community, he was put as an outcast. So it was kind of because of the sophistication that he got. He was involved in universities. He was involved in, you know, my aunt was a lawyer. She has a law firm, construction companies. The family that he lived in, they had around like 300 kids. So I have aunts and uncles of all different races, or all different people, skin tones, you know. So me growing up, I grew up with my identity. I knew who I was, but I also grew up that everybody was my family, because I had family that were all, you know, skin tones. There's no divisions. I have uncles, aunties, cousins of all colors. So that's one thing that I know that I carry here in Akwesasne, because a lot of people here don't have that connection, and a lot of them are scared because they don't have that family that's out there in the world. You have a family that's isolated here, that's scared of because of the oppression, because of the lack of diversity. So I'm just grateful to be in the position that I'm in, that I have diversity, that I am out there, that I will put my foot out there to speak up and, you know, get us out there again, because we need to be heard. There's things here in Akwesasne that need to be heard. There's teachings, there's families, that's what we work on. Is all we care about is family. Government is family. Your house is your government. When you're at the table, that's where you speak government. You bring your issues to the table when everyone's eating. And that's how it's situated, right at the table. So that's just something I wanted to bring in.
Can I just share one thing? My cousin, I sent her the video, and I told her just watch the last hour because it's 12 hours, and she's very busy and works at UCLA, and I know her schedule because she wanted to know what was I doing in Georgia, what was I doing here with this creative society. I said, okay, well, just watch the last hour if you have time. She watched the whole thing. And she said, I want the replicator. How do I get in? Do I got to pay a membership? What do I need to do? I want to just be considered a human being. That's a good sign. That means there's other people like that are feeling the same way.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Taking that energy and power and moving it forward.
Yes.
You know, and that makes sense. Overall, just listening to everyone, you know, we're all just really divinely connected. We're connected genetically, divinely, and now we will have an ecosystem. That's what this all comes out to when you start to think about the 8 pillars and everything that needs to be taking place by the creative society. It was the creator that allowed the name creative society, because that's what it all boils down to. And you know, you see how my brothers of the natives, we were able to connect because of our heritage.
Yes.
You know, and I know that is important. And taking, before I went into Africa and everything, I took my 23andMe, and then I did a bone scan. Now my bone scan says I'm 50% Native Indian, but my actual blood quantum is 40 because both of my grandparents both were full bloods on both sides, Creek and Cherokee. But then I also have African and Filipino and all of that, and Chinese. So it's a mixture of all of us that made me as a whole. So I look at it as we have to do as much as we can, and we can't be fooled by the way we look.
Right.
Because I've got cousins white as snow. And I see them, they showed it to me. You know, they were like, you know, when you go through your DNA, and then Facebook will find your cousins. And I was looking at my cousin, I was like, whoa. And then I sent a message to him, he came back with a message. My thing is, we have to focus on what we really need to do to come together. And that is bringing that unconditional love to one another. And the Creative Society has brought together with the Masonic United Nations, because we were known as the Sons of Light. And before there was any organizations, before there was religion, before there was anything to be possible, then we became the Knights of the Sun, because the sun is what protects us and heals us and do all kinds of things. And so the natives know this. We know this as a whole, and we have to be able to do that divinely. And that is our solution to what we're working with. The Creative Society is the solution to all of us and all of our cares. That's where I feel this is all going.
Absolutely. And we started our today's conversation with equality. And all our respected guests said how natural it is that we all would like to live by equality, by freedom. And right now, King Frederick said that the idea of creative society was even before any other organization were created. And Jeremy also said that their ancestors was living under those conditions for generation and generation, thousand years. So we see right now this ancient knowledge is back here. And thanks to technology that we have, we really can unite the entire world and really come back to those desires that each of us has, and really have happy life for everybody on the earth. So let's do that. Let's really unite, spread the word about the Creative Society, share this information with every single person you know, and share the forum. because forum gives even more information about the common situation, what is happening with the climate right now, and definitely gives the solution to all crises that we experience right now. Watch the forum, Global Crisis, There is a Way Out. Julia, do you want to add something to our viewers?
Yes, we encourage you also to share the videos. If you have gotten a chance to watch the forum, we want people to know your thoughts. Even if you have questions and you don't have the answers, we'll find the answers for you. And that is one of the reasons why we want you to share those videos through social media, share them with us even through our blendedtv.me, because we do have the Black experience of being human in the creative society. We want you to know what that feels like. So far it feels good, by the way. And so we encourage you to definitely watch that forum and to insert your questions to us, because the one thing I like about the creative society is they're definitely about truth. They don't hide the truth. They tell you as it is, as they get it, if they know the information. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate all of your comments. We appreciate all of our esteemed speakers today as well, as we're having this discussion. And this should be one of many. And you can start a coordination center as well. You can look at us as an example, or just start with one or two people, just having a discussion about some of the topics that you learned from the forum. That's how we did. As husband and wife team, we just started discussing online, a show called I'm In. And that's how we're getting it all out for those who might have the same questions that we had in the beginning. We had many questions, and we had to find the answers through the scientists and the specialists and the economists who were all there with the answers. That's the beauty of it. So don't be afraid to reach out. We are here for you, because that's what the Creative Society is about, helping one another and being able to give you the answers that you're looking for. They're completely transparent. We'll always be transparent, especially when it comes to the money, because I know some of you have questions about that. Show me the money. They definitely show you the money, I can promise you that. So I wanted to end with those thoughts, that how important these coordination centers are for us to be able to educate one another and come together and just start with the one or two people, and it will expand, I can promise you that.
Thank you so much, Julia. And also, Jeremy and Salt, I would like to ask you our last question. When you mentioned that the entire Akwesasne treat each other as a family, and that's true. Dear viewers, we were honored in the middle of the preparation to the forum visit Jeremy and Salt and the entire community, and that's absolutely true. That was, for us, it was unbelievable experience. We were treated not like a guest or tourist, some from Atlanta. No, we were treated as the family, and that was very, very nice experience, and that proved one more time that we all people would like to live in peace with each other. And Jeremy, could you please say, like, why Creative Society, why you like the Creative Society, and how you feel about that we all together right now modernize the message of your ancestors and spreading it around the world?
So the idea of peace, there's a balance that needs to be added in there in order, a lot of people don't realize it, but if you're going for peace, you're going to have war that follows, so you're going to have war that follows. So we have an equilibrium system that has acknowledgement of both sides, because with peace, you're going to have war, and with war, you're going to have peace. But it's about being in the middle, being neutral. Us here, we've always been neutral. You can see it within the wars. I'm glad that the Masons are here, because they were a part of bringing up of what the government was. You know what I mean? The organization, they seen how we organized and took it and ran with it as well. And that's a documented history that we can actually, we can see the way that it was set up of organization, but we had it organized by clans, which were families. We didn't have kingships, we didn't have empires, we didn't have that. We had families, because the women were the rulers of the house, because they were the ones that taking care of the kids. Yeah, that's something that we always look for, that we're trying to improve here is we're trying to get the woman back into place because that's their responsibility. They multitask. That's just a given gift that a lot of women have, is the ability to multitask because they belong in that position at the table. There's the speaker. You have to listen to your mother. Mama says knock you out, you're going to get knocked out. So,
Right, Jeremy. Women, we think with both sides of the brain. That's 720, so we're on the same frequency.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah, our frequencies are, and that's what keep us in order, the 528 frequencies. And I overstand so that we can actually, and I say the word overstand because a lot of times people want to be an understander. That's where you've been put under a spell. And I would rather be the pool player versus the pool balls being pushed around in every angle and put in every pocket. So that's a world that's rotating in 360 times 2 is a 720, but they're being pushed around. I'd rather be the player so I can position myself. So as the natives, we speak forward. We bring forth the unified front. And we bring all natives from all around the world to bring back the source in order for it. And the Creative Society has this opportunity to bring all natives and representatives together so that we can actually say, no more of the things that are happening. We need to be able to step up and do what we do. And we can do that through the Creative Society.
And do you know what interesting? During the time of preparation for the forum, we had a lot of calls with Jeremy, and I was reading a lot of information. And all the time when I say like Native Americans, he corrected me, Marina, we're all Native.
Correct.
And then I said like, oh my gosh, of course, we're all like, we come from different part of the world, but we're all Native from this, we're all indigenous. So it's definitely, so I'm very grateful for that experience, to learn more, to understand more the other culture, the other people, and find a similarity and realize that they're not others. They're similar. They're absolutely same as I am. So thank you so much. And we have that opportunity to really unite on one platform that give us that chance right now.
Yep.
So what's our plan right now before we leave from this program? What's going to be the responsibility of each individual? Will be the examples, right? So I'll ask you all each to share.
Well, I overstand this position as sharing resources with each and every last one of us. We have something, when you look at instruments to create a banking system, but what we want, technically, sometimes you don't want to say bank.
Correct.
You want a members operations that is gathered financial recovery and wealth. You want to be able to do that without being hindered or stopped. Certain things are being said that, that's their system. We don't want to infringe on their system, but we want to be able to operate on a system that allows us to continue to grow. And sometimes you don't want to run into stumbling blocks like that. So when we were, like Motown records and stuff, they were playing the 528 frequencies. And it was ended because it was giving too much vibration. See, the natives were beating drums and everything, and the Africans were beating drums, and the Chinese were chiming, and all that. That were creating frequencies that was able to be related to, it sent back to our ancestors, and then it brought forth what we call the great ones came from the sky. Everybody don't want to talk about it, but the elephant is in the room. Okay, we know that there's sources that came to all of our natives, period, and came around the world to communicate, to give us technology and give us all type of things. It's time for us to wake up and do what we should be doing to make this ecosystem work, because the one that's there is not working properly. It's not fair to all. And that's what we should be doing.
That makes sense.
And I want to end by saying, I'm an Eastern Star. I've been an Eastern Star. My son said to me, I didn't know, I didn't know. I've been the light. The light has been in me for a long time, since I was born. The light is in all of us. And I just want to continue to be an example, be a leader that makes sure, when I say a leader, I want to lead by example.
Okay.
A leader will make sure everyone eats. A leader will make sure that everyone is equal, not give to certain groups and not the other. That's the only way that it's going to work. I want my grandchildren to continue to live on this beautiful earth. We just had Earth Day last Saturday, and we went out and we participated, we volunteered, and it may seem like something small, but it's really big. Sometimes it's those small things that create and continue the larger things in the larger directions, like the Creative Society is looking to do. So again, I just want to continue to be that light, shed that light, and lead by example, and give it to others so that it becomes a domino effect. It becomes like a pay it forward.
And it's a big difference between being a leader and being a ruler.
Thank you. Exactly.
So, and I really wish that we all, every single person who watched us right now, will realize that you are the leader now.
Yes.
So like nobody but you. So we need to really stand up and lead people, give them that information about the Creative Society and explain why it particularly will benefit you, my friend.
Lennice?
Yes, I'm always here just admiring our panels and the titles of everybody. And with me, is like I said again, we have no choice. We all have to come together. And with the Creative Society, it's the foundation. It's where we are at right now. And people that have the millions and billions or the titles, all of that's in jeopardy. Whether you have so far 10 championship rings or 6 green jackets, we looking at an extra catastrophe to where none of that matters.
Correct.
And if we, with all our resources from each and everybody, don't share and unite and come together, nobody has anything. Nobody's going to remember what you achieve. Your grandson, your great-grandson, and so forth. And like I said before, if you go to a sand in the beach and you pick up one grain of sand and compare that to the sun, that one grain of sand, if you look in a bowl, it accumulates about 1 Earth, as far as 1,300,000, 1.3 million Earths that can fit into the whole sun. But that one grain that you see it in a beach, that one grain is represent everything that we ever had, everything that we ever going to be, and that one little grain is in jeopardy to not exist in a very, very short period of time. We must unite. We must all come together globally, no matter what color, no matter what race, no matter what gender. Everybody need to come together as one to solve this problem.
And may I say this?
Either.
Think about our children. Think about the duration of the time that we're speaking about, that the scientists were speaking about, because everyone may have not seen There Is a Way Out. And we'll definitely give that information at the end. You definitely need to review it, but think about your children. Do you want your children to get married, to go to college? Do you want their children and their children and their children? Do we want to continue with our ancestors creating this? So if we do, the Creative Society is a way for us to be able to, you know, to keep living, to keep living as one and not separate.
And living, not surviving, right?
Exactly.
Have a beautiful, beautiful world.
Right.
And we also would like to pass the word to Jeremy and Salt. Could you please wish something for the people of the world who will watch our today's broadcast?
Yes, but we need to bring our family together. We need a family reunion. You know, my cousin Janelle, that's what she's been doing here locally. Janelle Bova. she's doing a lot of work on unification, the justice system. So I have a lot of strong women in my circle, and that's where I come from, is a lot of strong women, because they're the ones who are always listening. They're the ones of that. That's how I know how powerful they are. So that's one thing we have to look towards, is be building that system of women and giving them their power back. Because if you want freedom, you have to give women their power, because freedom is built from the woman. And you can go back into history and it'll show you that, you can go through the goddesses, you can go through all of this stuff, but you're never going to have freedom when it comes from masculinity. The closest you'll get nobility, because in order to become noble, or to become what we would call a loyane, which means he who is noble, you have to be gifted that through a woman. You cannot become a man unless a woman makes you a man. Until then, you're still a child, and you need to, you got to listen. Until then. So that's something that we would like to bring to the table. But as family, my mother, my sister, my brother, we got to see it as we're all family, because we are. We're in the same house, So that's what we have to look at.
Okay, my word to everybody is we have to get rid of representatives, because the representatives is what we go on their word, and what they want is not what the people want. So we have to change that representative a little bit, and the way we can do that is by Zoom, like we are doing right now. We don't need government. We just need like a forum like this for government. We have the authority to do whatever we want on this neck of the woods, this island, Turtle Island, which is called America. So we have to have a government by Zoom, and that way everybody can get their voice in.
Yes, I like how he said that it's bringing the power back to the people. And in this transition, I like that the representative is helping to bring the power back to the people. That's what it's about. That's where the power began, and that's where it should go back to, so that we do have the equality, all the things that we've been talking about that the Creative Society provides. We are bringing that power back to the people in this transition. And in order to do that, we have to go through the process and really dismantle what's there in this transition, and temporarily have this representative to dismantle that, to bring it back to us.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yes. So I appreciate that. Thank you, and Jeremy, for really expressing the importance of self-governance and how we can do this peacefully.
Yes, and the good news, if we really work really hard right now, it will only take 5 to 6 years to change the world completely, and to be able to enjoy all those benefits, all those just unbelievable technologies that you watch at the forum. So, dear viewers, let's work together. Let's spread the information about the Creative Society, the information about the forum, Global Crisis, There Is a Way Out. Every single person should watch it now. And thank you very much for being with us. Thank you so much, dear speakers. It was such a pleasure to have you here, have you again with us. Thank you so much for sharing with us your wisdom and your kind heart. We really appreciate here, Jeremy and Saul. Thank you so much. Thank you for connecting. And we really hope one day to meet all together and celebrate the Creative Society. Thank you very much.
Now we'll go, everyone.